12:45 Pacific time. Oh, wonderful Tuesday, and it's starting to sprinkle a little bit. We had some nice weather over the weekend, and now we're back down to, you know, cloudy and meh, so I'm kind of feeling that right now. Just feel kind of meh. So 61 degrees right now, and from what I understand, it's supposed to be nice again tomorrow. Who knows? You can never predict the weather around here anyway. Just headed back toward my neck of the woods. I gotta stop off at home and get into a regular t-shirt and head over to therapy. Such fun. And still trying to play catch up with all my paperwork, and it's like, oh, need to find a meat slicer, and um, somehow we went through oodles of gallons of milk, which we shouldn't have. I don't know what happened. So anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell's going on with the car right now. The car has taken over my microphone. Can you hear me now? I'm kind of talking a little light right now. Just consumed in deep thought. How's that, Timmy? So I went to my doctor's appointment yesterday and got referrals for therapeutic massage, which he says is going to positively suck because they're going to work on that tendinosis that's going on in my shoulder, which has been causing me a lot of pain. Also, at the same time, high pain. At the same time, there's a labrum in my shoulder joint, so that's what the second referral is for, is to go see a surgeon to determine whether or not that's going to actually help to fix anything, plus maybe get that big old massive rock out of my shoulder. And I told my doctor that I just can't deal with this pain anymore. They need to figure out something to help me, because my life is sucking right now. I shouldn't have to be in this much chronic pain from day to day and not being given any kind of narcotics, which pisses me off. At least give me, maybe I can actually, not have sucky ass life. But no, 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 no. Oh, we could give you some cyclobenzaprine. It's like, yeah, I already got some of that. Thank you. But well, L&I doesn't like to give out narcotics. Well, L&I is not the one that's dealing with my shoulder pain now, are they? It's like I'm just so done with this, so over and done with this. But anyway, so this is going to be the only time that we're going to be talking about my shoulder. Any other lives following this up until I find out any other information. We're not talking about my shoulder, so this is the only time when I'm talking about it. It's right now, right here, right now. So physical therapy again on Thursday. So early dismissal on Thursday as well, so I can go and get my SHIT done and handled and get this party started. My other cook that got injured the day after I did has come back from her vacation, and I'm like, all right, where's your activity prescription form from your doctor, so that we can make sure that you are staying within the parameters of your light duty, because I'm not going to let this boss tell her that she's got to do her full job when she can't be doing her full job, because I know where she's coming from. I had that same injury back in 2012, 13, maybe 2014, and I ended up having surgery on my back, which has caused me to, lose a lot of feeling in my leg and foot, along with having pins and needles in my leg and foot, and my back is constantly hurting. So I don't want her to go through that. She's considerably older than me, so that makes things even worse. And I'm sorry, but the boss is going to have to figure out how the hell um, she's going to be lifting anything heavy. Who's going to be lifting anything heavier than 10 pounds on her behalf? Because there's nothing that I can do because I'm on light. The other one, she doesn't generally work the same time that the other one does, and it's my understanding that she's going to be turning in her notice pretty soon. But you know what? I'm happy for her and her husband. Gonna miss her to death, but I'm gonna be happy for them because they're moving, they're on the move, and I'm gonna be happy for her. But I'm also at the same time sad to see her go because I really thoroughly enjoy her energy and her vibe that she has. So hey, Simon. So that's really bumming me out right now too. Is finding out that you know I'm not I don't have favorites, but I thoroughly enjoy her energy. Um, she's a cool person, and I adore her. So and I love my other one too. The one that also has an injury right now. And I also love my 75 something year old as well. They're just they're it's an all women kitchen, literally all women kitchen, including the dishwashers. There's some bonuses to that, but also some drawbacks. Is that when we got two people out on extended light duty, modified duty, it's like this is kind of sucky because what are we gonna do now? And so I had to go and fetch her prescription form from her, make photocopies, and hand it over to the business office manager so that her business office manager can deal with that. Hey, Um, Brandon, so I went through the live chat replay from Sunday's live, and to answer your question about the Thai paste and the ginger paste, I use those because um, I'm not always home all the time, and even when I am home, sometimes I get called into work at the drop of a hat. So it's easier to buy my herbs in that form because then I could just squeeze out, they're in tubes, and they squeeze out rather easily out of the tube. I just squirt out however much I need for that recipe and then pitch the tubes into the freezer, and they keep really well in the freezer, and even if they're frozen they still squirt out of the tube very easily. And they're made by Gourmet Garden. They're kept in the produce aisle, usually right around where they keep the mushrooms and the fresh herbs, depending on the store. But they're tubes, and it's got a green label on it. It says Gourmet Garden, and there's a whole bunch of them. There's Italian, there's cilantro. I don't generally buy the cilantro one because usually fresh cilantro is pretty cheap, and I just don't have the time and energy to deal with gardening right now, especially with my shoulder being as it is. And um, so the other one's Thai paste, which is ginger, garlic, uh, uh, some sort of I think there's cilantro and lemongrass and uh, crap. Anyways, Thai basil, and um, I think it does have a little tiny bit of acid in there. I just don't remember what. It's not really all that spicy, but it might have some Thai chilies in there. I don't remember, but it's all the basics that you would need for a Thai dish, short of the sugar for if you were making pad Thai. There's a special sugar that you need for that. Um, and then a few other ingredients. It doesn't have those other ingredients in it. There's no soy. There's no fish sauce or anything like that in it. It's just the herbs basically and some preservative. It's to help keep it, relatively fresh instead of turning all sorts of goofy ass colors, right? So, hey, Demoose. So that's the reason why I use it, is for convenience purposes, because there's times when I'll go and buy a whole bunch of fresh herbs and have every intention of making some sort of really cool dish and get called in like 2 hours after I get home from the grocery store, and then I'm stuck for days because someone's called out or got fired or whatever. Um, or there was a event that was planned that, uh, so on. You know how it is, Brandon. You know how this industry is. And uh, I got tired of, going and spending all this money on fresh herbs, only to have, be able to finally sit down and relax and, spend a little bit of time with my family and cook something, and only to find that, my herbs had died. And those things are really expensive, and those tubes are not as expensive. And if something happens where I'm going to be gone for days, not a big frickin' whoop. I could just grab that tube and throw it right into the freezer, and get back to whatever the hell it was that I was trying to make on a different day, provided that all my other ingredients didn't die too. Because sometimes there's ingredients that just don't translate well to being frozen and then defrosted. So, it's just use your best judgment. Um, I usually keep the Italian seasoning one and the Thai one and ginger and garlic paste in my freezer, even though I have smoked garlic in my freezer all the time. It's like I always have smoked garlic. Um, but there's times when I run out of smoked garlic, and then what do I do? And don't have any time to, reload the smoker and get it all going all over again. So, hey, Winstone. So it just makes life easy. It's a convenience. Um, but right now I'm just headed for home. Need to change my clothes so I can go to therapy, and because I don't want to have to show up in work clothes, which pisses me off because it's like, I only went to work for like 2.5, 3 hours or something like that. And it's like had to waste a whole set of work clothes. But it is what it is, I guess. Because I just need to live with it. I want to get out of this bra anyway. It's putting too much pressure on my shoulder. Try to wear a bra today because sometimes it's like wearing a tank top underneath work clothes doesn't always go over very well, especially when you have porn nipples. So I just don't have any way around that. So I can't believe I just said that. Anyway, sounds like something I would say in front of my friends about porno nipples, but it is what it is. So we had our 3,000 watch hour celebration on Sunday. It went pretty darn well, I think. It took me a little bit to remember how to roll up a roll. It's been a little while, but I would have benefited from finding another sushi mat, but unfortunately, Timmy says no. I saw 3 of them in the drawer, and I'm like, what? Where? So I started heading to the house because I was really pissed off, right? Because it's like, how can I be out of sushi mats? I always keep extras at home. He's like, no, they're in the drawer. They're in there. It's like, where? Because they're all rolled up in plastic, in a little plastic bag, and they're all rolled up, ready to go. And he goes, yeah, they're buried in the far back of the junk drawer. I saw them. They're way in the back, behind everything else. And I'm like, okay, all right. Damn it. So might have to revisit doing some sushi rolls. Maybe do a separate video. And yeah. just that was one of the things that I hadn't done in a while. But since I had promised once when we get to that 3,000 that we would do a sushi thing to celebrate, and Butler Family Farm got me that bowl. It was time to break that in because I've been staring at it for quite a while, and you know, wanting to make some sushi very badly. I mean, I'm not a pro at it. I learned from a pro, but I'm not a pro at it. But I can get you there to where you can, you know, make a basic roll and understand the whole technique behind it. Because, you know, a lot of people think, oh, sushi, I hate seafood. I don't like seafood. I'm like, wait a minute. Sushi has nothing to do with seafood. It's about the preparation of the rice. Am I right, Brandon? Am I right? It's all about the rice, right, Brandon? Is if the rice isn't right, then it's just not right at all. And um, yeah, it's got nothing to do with seafood. I mean, you can literally put anything in them. You know, you want to just go with all vegetarian things, you can do that. You can play around with your food. I highly encourage everybody to play around with their food and experiment and try something new, try something different. You know, you would do like a mango habanero sauce to drizzle over the top to go with like a nice savory uh, teriyaki sauce, a teriyaki glaze as another type of thing to drizzle over the top of your roll. You know, you can do two different ones. You could do the mango habanero and do do the do a teriyaki. A lot of these sushi places do it is they experiment with different flavor profiles. What happened if we did like this kind of sauce? I mean, it doesn't have to conform with traditional sushi. Majority of these sushi bars and sushi places, unless they're a full out Japanese restaurant, they're going to have their own little signature rolls, ones with fruit inside, um, one with chicken, one with asparagus, apples. I've seen ones with apples in it. You know, seen some with steak. Never forget the one that I saw that had A5 Wagyu on it. Oh my god! It was lightly torched with a garlic aioli. Oh my god, it was so good. Because sushi is all about the rice. So this Sunday is the Blackstone Challenge. It's going to be featuring having fun in nature, Yes I Can barbecue, and Whistle Stop Homestead. I'm crashing the party because I'm the judge. I'm supposed to judge these people, and my contribution to it is I'm also going to be making chicken parmesan, but I don't have a Blackstone, and I don't really need one right now because it's like I'm rarely ever home long enough to be able to, you know, do any outdoor cooking as much as I would like. I've got a grill, but I think there's a giant hornet's nest in it right now. And so I'm not going to be doing mine outdoors on a Blackstone grill. So mine isn't gonna count because of that purpose. I'm not gonna be cooking outdoors. We never know what our weather is gonna be like in Western Washington. I mean, we had 75 degrees 3 days after having, and a couple inches of snow fall on us. I mean, literally 3 days later, 70. It's like snow, then 72 degrees. What the hell's that all about? It's this whole thing about global warming. It's April. Come on. So my contribution to that whole thing is I'm going to be making chicken parm, but I'm going to be doing it a little bit different. Yeah, I know you have a Blackstone Windstone, and from what I understand, you're going to be doing a standalone video and tagging the collab on it. So I can't wait to see your spin on it, because I know that you do some island kick to things, because you're an islander, different kind of islander than my kind of islander, but islander just the same. And I'm not going to do mine islander. Mine's going to be like stoner food sort of thing. We are the Munchie Mafia after all. Why we're called the Munchie Mafia, but I don't know. Anyhow, so I'm gonna do mine just a little bit different. I'm gonna do mine twisted style, twisted. Hey, Alice Adams, long time no see. Doing mine with dino nuggets because I wasn't invited to this cookout. And everybody's like, haha, no, you're not. You're not doing that. Yes, I am. Because I can. I'm not competing. But I'm going to show you a different way to make chicken parmesan. A chicken parmesan that you can get your picky children and picky spouses to eat. And it's going to be delightful. And Timmy's like, oh man, you better be buying the good chicken nuggets. Yes, I'm going to buy the best dino nuggets that money can buy, Timmy. Really? Really? Okay. So, because I can do that. You know why I can do that? I'm not competing. But there's a reasoning behind every little thing that I do. And we got high school graduations coming up pretty soon. It's like high school graduations should be starting to pop up within the next few weeks. This is going to be a great party food idea for a bunch of high school students that have graduated. So if you're having a graduation party for your kid, and your kid is one of those picky ass damn eaters that, Kraft macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets is the only thing that you were able to get them to eat when they were a child, this one's for you, man. This one's for you. Because this is going to be freaking awesome. And I'm not going to tell you much more about it, but it's going to be cool. You're going to love it. And maybe there might be like a secondary video. Who knows? I don't know. Because, Timmy's got to eat too, and he just might say, no, damn you, Timmy. I want some real food. I don't want that. I don't want those dino nuggets, because you got the wrong ones, man. It's like I've come too far. So I might have to cook him one from complete scratch. But you'll soon see, because it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be very cool. It's gonna be it's gonna be a members only video that's gonna be dropped from that, and that's how to prepare tomatoes for one of the mother sauces known as sauce tomate, which is tomato sauce. It's French for tomato sauce. How do you prepare that? Um, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the traditional French way to make sauce tomate. Because we're gonna make our own marinara from scratch. It's gonna be slow cooking for a couple days. Hey, Bushcraft. And so that's gonna go with our dino nuggets. I'm sure that there's probably people that are like, yeah, right. Yeah, you're really not doing that. Really, what are you doing? You're doing something, but I don't think you're doing dino nuggets. No, I'm really doing dino nuggets. Because it wouldn't be fair for me to compete, for one, because I'm a professional. And number two, I wasn't invited to this cookout. And number three, I wasn't invited. But, like I told everybody, you can't limit it to people that just have Blackstone griddles because not everybody has that kind of money to fork out for a Blackstone. And on top of all of it, not a lot of people have a home or a property where they can go outside and cook. Some people live in apartments. They may not be able to cook outside. They might have special rules about that in their apartment complex or condo or whatever, you know. So don't limit it to just Blackstone people. Make it inclusive. On top of all, not everybody has the weather that other places in the continental U.S. has right now, except for Washington State. Washington State, as you can see, it looks like the clouds are stacking up against the mountain. I bet you that once we get up to the top of this hill, we're not going to see Mount Rainier. We'll probably see like a little tiny chunk of it. Unlike yesterday, oh my God, it was such a beautiful sight coming up the hill from the valley here, and seeing that beautiful, glorious mountain just totally covered in snow. And a few weeks earlier, it's like you could actually see rock. You could actually see the face of the mountain. Now it's thoroughly covered in snow. You see little bits of the mountain poking out from underneath the snow here and there and here and there, but for the most part, it was like 90% covered. It wasn't like that a few weeks ago, which is good for us because we don't want another drought. Because last time, this hillside that we're coming upon right now, um, these dill holes came along and they logged a good portion of this hill. Um, and what they didn't log, we'll start seeing the burnt remains of what happened when we had a wildfire during a record scorching uh, major weather event where we had high winds. It was like Santa Ana of the Pacific Northwest. Um, High winds and wildfires that jumped the freeway here or jumped the highway here and burnt up both sides of the highway. We're coming up on the one set of trees that totally caught fire. The charred remains are still there, still standing. The trees are just terribly scarred. Um, so here it is, right here. It's coming up right here, right here, right here, right here. So I don't know how well you can see that, but it goes all up and down this stretch of the freeway, where you'll see a whole lot of dead trees um, up against the beautiful lush greenery of the evergreen state. These all caught fire, and right about here is where it jumped the highway and ended up over here on this side and started catching these trees on fire. It was bad. And I worked at the bottom. I worked down in the valley at the time when that happened, and it took me 3 hours to get home that night because the high winds and all of the wildfires had caused a massive power outage all throughout Pierce County and parts of King County and further south and not so much north. So we ended up with no power for days, 118 degrees, 115 degrees, 113 degrees. 118 was the highest. We've never seen temperatures that high that's been recorded in Washington state history, let alone, the 57 years that I've lived in this state. And yes, I just gave away my age. Good God. Um, and restaurants were closing down um, because their refrigeration couldn't keep up. And without proper refrigeration, even the high-end coolers and freezers were going haywire. Grocery stores were throwing insulating blankets over the tops of their food in their freezer case because they were going to lose everything. They were going to lose all of the frozen goods and everything else, and they wouldn't let anybody get into them because they're the more you open them, the more cold came out. They wouldn't be able to recover, and they'd lose even more stuff. And they try to take all the high ticket items and store it into their main freezers that they have in the back, but not everything would fit. So um, they were closing down the cooler sections and the freezer sections that you can only buy like certain items um, for about a week. And of course, that caused a whole bottled water and toilet paper shortage all over again. Um, so that was rough, and that's why we need the snow. We need the snow so we don't go into drought conditions and end up in that situation all over again. Um, our soils are pretty well saturated, if not a little bit oversaturated in some areas. We still haven't fully recovered from the flooding that we had just right around Thanksgiving and Christmas. Um, those were pretty bad. I'm surprised we survived, or at least our house. But our house survived somewhat. We got a hole in our roof, but you know, got to get that taken care of. Uh, so yeah, it'd be a good year for tomatoes. Okay, you're home already. You beat me home. I've got another 17 minutes before I get home, so I've got at least 15 more minutes on this live stream. So if you haven't already, hit the like button. I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I it's okay. Not everybody likes me, and that's all right. I don't have to be liked by everybody, but check it out. There's some pretty funny moments in just about every live stream that I've done. And those are bingeable. Some of them are really, really super duper long. So you might have to like put it on double or triple speed to get through it quickly until we get to the next part that actually looks interesting. But you know, there's some cool content. And yeah, the mountain is put away for the day. The mountain said, "Oh no, I'm going home. I'm drunk." Usually, right around here is where you would see a beautiful, beautiful Mount Rainier, but no, it's playing peekaboo. All you can see is the foothills. Oh well, it'll be out another day, and it'll be glorious. I don't know. Just today just felt like a really weird day today. Even my boss was acting weird, and I was like, "Why are you so chipper?" I actually asked her that. I don't know. It's a great day. It's like okay. So should have told her I want whatever drugs you're having. That would have been funny. So anyway, talked about my shoulder, talked about the weather, talked about Sunday's live stream, talked about this upcoming Sunday's live stream. Um, so Have Fun in Nature is currently working on their first 3,000 watch hours. I think they've got the subscribers to where it needs to be, which is 500. Uh, they're still going to need 1,000 for the 4,000. So if you're not yet already subscribed to Have Fun in Nature, which is at Have Fun in Nature, please go check them out. Show them some love. Check out one of their playlists. I think they got 2 playlists on there. Could be wrong. If not, Tiffany, get on it. You need playlists. Chop chop. And of course, Simon of Yes I Can Barbecue. Um, and Whistle Stop Homestead, which is at Whistle Stop Homestead. And Simon is at Yes I Can Barbecue. Um, so if you're a barbecue enthusiast, his Simon's channel is pretty cool. Plus, he has live streams every Tuesday night, which is in a few hours from now. I think it's 6:30 hour Pacific time, which is 8:30 Central time. He's down in Texas. So he'll be going live tonight. Then Whistle Stop Homestead is on Sunday, along with Have Fun in Nature. Those are their their main their main times that they go live, but they also do a few pop-ups here and there throughout the week. Hey Coyote, I hope you're feeling better. Uh, Coyote's one of our neighbors, and he's at the Rights Trapping, and he's a cool dude too. You need Wallies. I could be talked into Wallies. Timmy, you want to go to Wally's and meet up with Coyote for dinner tonight over at Wally's? Let's talk about it, Coyote. Al doesn't have a live posted. Okay, so Al's not going live tonight. Uh, Simon's going live tonight though. Oh, you don't want to go anywhere at the moment? Well, hey, Kevin. Well, you could stay home and Coyote and I could go have a hot date over at Wally's, and I'll just bring you back something. How's that sound? Bring you back some dino chicken nuggets. I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't know. We'll see. Done that before where I'll go out and bring him something back. But my GPS is saying that I've got 10 minutes before I get home, which is actually 6 minutes because, give or take, depending on whether or not I have to contend with school buses on Monday Lost Road. You gotta go check a trap, but you're hungry. Alright, well, where's the trap at, Coyote? You seem to be befuddled. Did you just say befuddled, Timmy? It's a big $5 word. I'm early? Oh. Well, I do have my doctor's appointment, so high school doesn't get out till 2, okay. But it's 1:27, the buses have to show up early anyhow, so I could get stuck behind the buses. Could be bus aft. Coyote, I've got your phone number in my phone, right? I think you've texted me before. I think I've got you on my phone. I don't remember, but send me a text message. Just say Coyote in the text message. And I'm gonna be home in like 6 minutes. Or no, 8 minutes. But let's just say 10 for good measure. I'll be home in 10 minutes. At airport in Covington. Airport in Covington. There's an airport in Covington? There's an airport in Covington? I don't remember there being an airport in Covington. There's an airport in Covington. Oh, what? It's a long trip from Wally's. Yeah, it is a long trip from Wally's because Wally's only has 2 locations, Des Moines and Buckley, and I'm too far away from the one in Des Moines because the one in Des Moines, I'm only like 5 or 10 minutes away from where I work. From the one in Des Moines, I've been to the one in Des Moines because we have one here in Buckley, which is like just 5 or 10 minutes away. So I don't know. Now you got me craving root beer milkshake. Southeast of Covington, southeast of Covington. That would be like between Maple Valley and Covington. I don't remember there being an airport out there. I know the one in Auburn, Black Diamond. Wait, okay. Timmy, help out. You're the human map quest. Out by Dora's old house, Timmy. Is that what he's talking about? Out toward Dora's old house, or not Dora's? What's his name's? Oh, the acreage. We went to a camp out over on his acreage. No, I guess that would be. No, Dora lived in Auburn. I need landmarks that I could recognize. I know where the Playmore Tavern is. Oh, there's chickens. Chickens! Buck, buck, buck! Chickens. Anyway. Oh, you found mine on the map. Well, la-di-da. Kind of giving away a lot of little snippets here and there over the years. I'm surprised we don't have a bunch of drive-bys. I don't like drive-bys. Anyhow. So I'm coming in through Burnett. And I'm going to be losing the signal here pretty soon. So I'm just going to end it right here. Coyote, send me a text message, damn it. I will catch you all on the flip side. Don't forget, cook with love, eat with passion. Have a